You questioning whether you're going to step into leadership is fine, but if you are paralyzed by fear, what happens if you don't step into that school leadership role? The individuals who are going to miss out on the impact and the influence that you have to improve teaching and learning. What will happen to those individuals, that particular community, if you decide that you are going to be paralyzed by fear and not actually step up and show out? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you are enjoying your day. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Donovan Smalls II, and welcome to Beyond the Classroom. I help aspiring school leaders land their first leadership role, navigate complex dynamics, enhance communication skills, and drive instructional excellence. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that is extremely important, and I think it's often overlooked, and that is stepping into leadership, overcoming fear, and embracing your impact. Now, I want to start with 3 questions that I think are quintessential, that are going to drive our conversation today. So our first question is, what would you accomplish as a leader if fear wasn't holding you back in terms of stepping into that first leadership role? How many opportunities have you passed up because you doubted your readiness to lead? And 3, what's the cost to your students, staff, and community if you let fear keep you from stepping up and into the school leadership role that you believe that you have been called to fulfill? You know, fear is an illusion. Fear is not actually real. Fear is a human element that allows us to really just tap into the fact that we are on the cusp of doing something great. And so as an aspiring school leader, you might be wondering, am I actually ready to step into a school leadership role? And I believe that you even asking yourself that question means that you have the skills, you have the attributes, you have the competencies, you have the disposition, and you have the heart to actually serve and improve teaching and learning. And so I think that you are already ready. Yes, there may be little things and knowledge gaps that you are going to acquire along the way. But I believe, again, that you reflecting on the question, am I ready to be a school leader, means that you have what it takes. Fear isn't the enemy. It's an opportunity. It's a sign that you're on the edge of growth and impact. You know, recently I had an opportunity as a school leadership coach to lead my first entrepreneurial event. And it was for my book that just released. It's called Beyond the Classroom, Helping Aspiring School Leaders Navigate Interpersonal and Organizational Complexities for Greater Instructional Impact. So I had an opportunity to lead my book launch event. And I had about 40 people that came, and it was an amazing event. I believe that it was extremely impactful for the audience and the people that showed up, and I am extremely grateful for it. And somebody in the audience asked me, he said, how did you have the confidence to continue to do the work that you've been doing, right? To continue to write books, to continue to impact the lives of other people? Like, what gives you the confidence? Because I know that there has to be some sort of fear involved as well. And what I said in front of the audience was that I do experience fear just like everybody else. But for me, it is about the regret if I don't actually do what it is that I've been assigned to do. I want you to think about that. You questioning whether you're going to step into leadership is fine. But if you are paralyzed by fear, what happens if you don't step into that school leadership role? the individuals who are going to miss out on the impact and the influence that you have to improve teaching and learning? What will happen to those individuals, that particular community, if you decide that you are going to be paralyzed by fear and not actually step up and show out? What happens? And so I want to talk about three main keys as it relates to stepping into leadership. And so number one is fear signals growth. Fear often shows up when we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. And we've all heard this before. Nothing great actually happens in our comfort zone. You have to step out of your comfort zone. And I can tell you this, as a school leader and a school leadership coach, as you are making that transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, you are stepping outside of your comfort zone and things are going to feel unfamiliar. But that's okay, because sometimes leadership is unfamiliar. You're stepping into a role that you have never actually been in. This is foreign to you. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be great at it. It actually means that this is an opportunity for you to see the expansion of who you are to help lead other people. And so again, fear is just an illusion, but I want you to remember that fear signals growth. This is an opportunity for you to step up. This is an opportunity for you to do things for other people. This is an opportunity for you to fulfill that dream that has been placed on the inside of you. So step outside of your comfort zone and do it afraid. Number two, you don't need to be perfect to lead. Many aspiring leaders think they need to have it all together before stepping up. The truth is, no leader is perfect. No person is perfect. In fact, the fact that you think that you need to be perfect might really be holding you back to stepping into that first leadership role. Because perfection doesn't exist. And although you being an educator, us in education, there is a level of perfectionism that I believe that we all have, because we want to be great. We want to do things with a level of excellence, not for ourselves, right? Not solely for ourselves, but for other people. We are in a service-based industry. We are servant leaders as it relates to leadership. And so I completely understand the idea of wanting to be perfect, wanting to have everything all together, wanting to feel like we are ready to step into school leadership, not even understanding that we're already ready. You have what it takes. So do not allow perfectionism to keep you from stepping into that school leadership role that you desire. Start where you are. Lead with what you know and commit to continuous learning. See, the thing about leadership, the thing about school leadership is that not every scenario every day is going to be the same. And so you're not going to have experiences in all of the different areas of leadership that you are going to experience. And so you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable with learning on the fly. You have to get comfortable with being able to make mistakes, but learning from those mistakes, because that's what leadership is about. Nobody has it all together. And although people from the outside looking in may think that leaders have it all together, that's not actually true. That is actually an illusion as well, right? Fear is an illusion. And so again, you don't have to be perfect in order to lead. And then our last point for the day is leadership is about impact. It's not about fear. Shift the focus from yourself to the people you serve. Fear shrinks when you remember who you're doing it for. I think one of the things that truly helps me, whether I'm coaching someone, whether I am getting ready to do a presentation, whatever the case may be, right? Even when I stepped into my first leadership role, what truly helped me was shifting the focus from me to we, was shifting the focus from my competencies and how great of a leader that I wanted to be to the fact that my job is to serve other people. And although I understand the many different leadership styles, right, for me, I really gravitate towards servant leadership for this reason. Because servant leadership means that I think of other people so highly that I'm not actually thinking about myself. I'm actually giving myself up to be great for other people, to best serve other people, to identify and to start to understand the needs of others and to fulfill those gaps. So leadership is not even about you. So the fear that you're facing might be because that you're looking so much at what it is that you have or what you don't have, as opposed to focusing on the impact that you truly are going to make as a servant leader, as a person who is going to fulfill the gaps in the areas of teaching and learning that you have identified. So when fear arises, I want you to focus on your mission and the legacy that you want to leave behind as a servant leader, as somebody who is really looking out for the better interest of other people and not necessarily yourself. That's when the fear is going to subside. That's when you are truly going to have confidence to step into the leadership role that you have been called to. So today we talked about three main points or three main keys as it relates to stepping into school leadership and overcoming your fear of leading. And number one, fear is a signal for growth, not a reason to stop. Number two, you don't need to be perfect to lead. And number three, leadership is about impact, not fear. Fear will always try to hold you back, but your purpose is greater than your fear. So ask yourself, what will I regret more? Stepping up and learning as I go, or staying where I am and letting my potential go untapped? That's where the real fear is. It's the regret of not stepping into the leadership role that you believe that is for you, that you believe that you are supposed to fulfill, the change that you have been desiring to make for students and staff and communities. That's the real fear if you decide not to do that and you decide to wallow in the fact that you just don't feel ready yet. There's a community waiting for you in your leadership. So you might be already ready to do it. You just have to not be paralyzed by it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable and get outside of your comfort zone. I want to thank you for joining me today. And I hope to see you next time as we have another conversation during Beyond the Classroom. As always, I hope you have a great week of teaching, leading, and learning. Take care.